Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report, starting with the ASX 200 here on the daily chart. This count here, we've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and it's quite comfortable to have wave 5 here completed here, and we're looking for more downside. It's also possible too that we can count this one up through here as all of wave 1. It's a bit of a strange count, but it's basically wave 1 and 2 and 3 in here and 4 here, and all this being wave 5 here. So it's possible to have this as wave 1 here and wave 5. This is what I'm trying to figure out, and I know that this particular little move down through here so far is in 3 waves, so I'm looking at this as a 4th wave rally here with a 5th wave to move down through to here somewhere, a little move higher here and then down through here. If that's the case here, then that will give us 5 waves down from the high at that point. And if that's the case, then we'll see an A wave, a B wave and a C wave back up, and then we'll see another move down through to here like this. So it's also possible that this can be counted slightly different here too, in that we have wave 1 here and we have wave 2 in this little space here as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, but I still can't get 5 waves out of this, so I still need to bring it over here. So there's a couple of variations I've got to work through here to get this. Now, one of the things here too is that I said that we are currently long in this, but in a more safer sort of environment, we wouldn't really be going long unless we had support on the 6,200 here. And if that was the case, if we had support on that, if we do get that, and we'll look at the triggers for that, then we need to look at the 50-60% retracement level of that move down here, which would bring us up into the subgroup 2 area here, the 62, 80, 72 and 65 area here. So that would be a little area there that we would need to look at as well. So basically I'm just edging my way through this until we get the right count on this particular market here. So as you can see, we've got a nice strong 3rd wave down here. That's why I've been looking at this being the 4th wave here. I suppose it's also possible the 4th wave is getting rather large here, but that's the way it happens sometimes. The other way that we could look at this is that we could also have wave A sitting over here, and all of this here, because it's quite large in terms of time and price, we'll be able to put wave B over here, but we'd still get this move down through here in that case as well. We would end up with a flat correction. So I don't have anything sort of set in concrete at the moment, but I think we've done a reasonable job of just working through this particular pattern, and we'll continue to do that. So in this area here, we're looking at, if this is a wave 4 up here, we're looking at as an A and a B and a C wave here. So we can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 2 here. So in here to here, that's the 38.2% retracement level. So it's really sort of the 6,200 is just above that. So we're sort of on track here to have support on top of that 6,200 area here. We really want to see a good support there. So as you can see that it's resistance, and normally the process is that we would see a move higher, and then we would see that move higher, run out of steam, and then fold back and have a bounce, and it may get supported on here and move up from that point. So we always need to be mindful of that, and we always have a trigger above that first high here, but otherwise it would be a bounce and then back down from this way here. And so we'd still have these as long triggers here, but then we'd also start needing to consider short trades as well. We know that when we're working with whatever large number, we can use the trading levels. So in this case 6,200, and this is important in geometry, as I mentioned once before perhaps, that the 6,200, when you read it as a price ratio, we can look at that as 62%. So we can look at it as 61.8%, the golden mean, the golden ratio. So it has a bit of a double meaning here, but at the same token, instead of in terms of trading, that we know that if we're working with a large number, then we drill down into the, this is a minor level here, the 6,200, and then these next levels down are sub-levels. So we've got group 1 here, 1, 2, and 3. We know that if we get support on top of 3, the 6,230, then we're going to be going up from that point. And it's the same here as well after it's played out here with group 2 here, the 80, 72 and 65. So if this becomes the retested resistance, then we'll know we'll be moving down to the 6,000 at that point. So using group 2 and group 1 here to understand the longer term, the next step up and the next step down is handy. In terms of the actual count here, we're looking at this as wave A here, then an A and a B and a C wave here, and then we're looking at this, last time we spoke, as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and we're looking at this as wave 3 coming up here. Since that time we've seen this particular pattern here. It's got overlapping wave structures with each other, so we know that it's bullish corrective, and we need to label that wave 4. And yes, it has overlapped wave 1 there, but that's just the way it is. And then we're looking for a move up here. So once again, I can count wave in between wave 4 and wave 5 here. I can count it as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and it's probably all wave 3 is already done here with a wave 4, and we're moving up into a wave 5 here. So I don't see ourselves going further up here. I mean, I do see ourselves going further up here, but once again, we're looking for that first high above the level, wherever that comes in here. So I'll just put it there. So yeah. So look. Allow it to move up and allow it to fall back, and then use that high as your reference point to go long again on. And if the 2,000 or 6,230 becomes the support here, then you can look to trade long on that point. And remember too that just because a market just pops its head up over that particular level, it doesn't mean support. It's got to come back and test it in some way and sit on it, like a pattern like this, a 3-wave pattern, come back and sit on it. You know, it's sitting. This one's edging up on support, but will it find support on the 6,200? That's the question that we need to go. And I know that this move here on the cash market, it looks quite nice as 3 waves, and in this move here, I know that it looks okay as an impulse wave as well. But I'm just going to stay with this until we're on solid ground at 6,200. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of Asia. I'm going to go to Hong Kong first before China. With Hong Kong here, and this is the same as China as well, is that I think that I have a low in here, but having a low in place is always a little bit tricky. So I like to sort of strengthen that. And one of the first things that we can do in Elliott terms is look for the first 5 waves up. Now, yes, I know that we've got 5 waves in this little structure here, and we've been long in that. So if we get 5 waves here, that means after correction we'll get another 5 waves, but that will only leave us with 3 waves. So in the bigger picture, if we can get 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, then if we get 5 waves here, then we know that after a correction we're going to get another 5 waves up. Okay, so I'm looking for a couple of things here. I'm looking for either 5 waves up here, or I'm looking for support on the closest largest number, which would be the 28,000 here, and that will help us to the upside here. This market can certainly, I mean, I've got it here as an A and a B and a C wave here, but you could probably call this here as wave 1, wave 2 and wave 3 here, and we're going into a very complicated wave 4. I just don't know that. but I mean, it'd be nice if we were sitting above the 30,000 here, but we're not there yet. But we are long in here, and we'll keep chipping away at this here. And our first gain is the 28,000 here, getting support on the first level of supply through here. Supply just means sellers. And this whole correction could turn uglier as well. You know, I mean, it's possible to have, this is the A wave here, and then another B wave over here, and a C wave over here. You know, so this is why we've got to kind of not set things in stone. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't, and we just need to understand all the counts, all the possibilities, and really using Elliott in our trade setup. That's what it's for. Sometimes, yeah. Anyway, that's that. Let's just go in and have a look at this on the 4-hour chart. So here we can see that from the low here, we've got this move up here. I don't know if we should call this this move up here yet. I don't know if we should call it, copy that. So wave 1 here, wave A, or wave 1, wave 2 here, or wave B here. I just don't know that just yet here. This little box here, this market's coming into, I'm just going to go to the 1-hour chart here. That will be a bit easier to understand the move up here. So we have been working the trade up here. So from the low here, we've been long here. We've taken some profit here. We drew a line in the sand here. We're expecting it to come back into this box. That's all nice and neat here. Taking the breakout through here. That's cool. Looking to go long here again. So we can pull the stop up here a little bit. So if this was going to be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, it could fail from right here. So in this state here, we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and moving up for 5 here. They can go a little bit higher, and it might even stretch up to the 28,000 here. But yeah, we'll just need to see. If this market's going to go higher, then this level across here is really quite important. I'll just darken that up a little bit, because it's the 500 here, and we might see more. 5 is the second strongest number in the market, according to me. And yeah, if this was this little move up here, once it's finished its 5 little waves up here, can go a bit higher. It's likely to fall back into the 500. It can come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then push higher. So I want to see this play out here, because if this drops down here to further down here, you know, past the wave 4 of 1 less degree here, then we'll have to label this an A and a B and a C, and this whole move to the downside is not completed just yet. So we've got some exposure here at this, so you might want to, I'm going to play it out for the longer trend, and I'm sort of basing that off the US markets a bit, but and some of the other Asian markets. But you'll need to work out here if you want to you know, move this stop up into here somewhere to lock in some profit, you know. But otherwise, I want to leave it below the 61.8% mark, and that means that from that low here to this high here, I want to leave the stop under the 61.8% mark. I want to be in profit on this one and this one here, yeah. So yeah, you might. In fact, it's probably another good to get out of it. It might be a good idea just to take some here as well for the time being. We can always move back into it, because this number here is going to give us grief. This is going to take a little while to get through this 28,000. So let's lock in a little bit more here, balance your books up so you can leave some skin in the game, and we can just look to keep sort of building and navigating through this. China's much the same as well. So with China here, we were looking at 2 trades here. So we're considering a low being in here, but I don't know if it's an A wave or B wave here and a C wave finishing here. Once again, this move, this level here, the 11,500, that's halfway between 10,000, a major level, and 13,000. So it just plays a strong part. I know it's an unusual number, but if we get that as support, then we're on our way for further upside at that point there as well. But it's going to take a while to get through all of this here as well. So I think that we might do the same thing here again as well. So we'll look to Just configure that there to lock in some profits here. I've moved the stop up because you may have gone long here in the green box and you may have gone long here. I've moved the stop just above here, and let's just take some money off the table right there. And we'll see, because I don't have 5 waves. We had 5 waves here, that's why we could buy the pullback here. But in this bigger picture here, we've only got 3 waves up here. If we had 5 waves up, then I know that after a correction here, we'll get another 5 waves up. But I don't know that yet, so we need to stay with what we know. So we'll leave it at that for that. And Japan is chuffing along quite nicely. As I mentioned before, I won't need to go over it. We've got a series of wave 2s here. So in Elliott terms, that would be the third of the third of the third. So this is an area here where Elliottians dream of, basically, because the third wave is the most powerful point in the structure, and especially being the third of the third of the third. So really we're in this wave here. So wave minor degree 1, minor degree 2. So we're in minor degree 3 here, wherever that is up there, if I've got it there or haven't. Okay, here we go. A little bit messy. So yeah, in wave 3 here. So from wave 2 to wave 3, and we're looking for 5 waves of the next smaller degree, this minute degree here, in blue here. And then in this wave 3 here, we're looking for also 5 waves as well in this. So our target here really is the 25,000, because 24 is going to give us some problems, but it's something that we can handle and we can navigate through. We could take a bit of profit and, and dance through that number. But this one here is going to be a bit more time consuming with this one here. So let's go in here and have a look at this particular structure from this wave 2 to this wave 3 here on the 4-hour chart. So this wave 2 here, we're looking for 5 waves up. So we've got 1 and 2 here, and I'll borrow those because I'll need those just over here for this wave 4 here, just while we're here. So from wave 1, wave 2, we're working up to wave 3 here, then we'll have wave 4, and we'll have wave 5 up here. So the extension's in wave 3 here, so wave 1 here will be roughly the same size as wave 5 coming in into this space here. So also too, within this structure, in this across the 24 here, it will be time consuming because we're in a series of, see these 2 wave 4s here, so we will be in a series of waves 4s and 5s here. So first of all, we don't want to be stopped out, so just think of this as a bit theoretical here, in that we don't want to be stopped out because we know the structure's got more here. But we'll be spending time here, and if you're using CFDs, then there's going to be a financing cost which is compounded daily at the next price. So it's good to probably lighten the load for that reason, and also too, you could allocate capital, take it from here and move it into something else. But it's important to leave most of the skin in the game here. So a small part profits here at the 24,000, and yes, it could go higher, and then you go, oh, I wish I'd stayed in, and then it'll pull down and go, oh, lucky I got out, and there'll be all those emotions in here. But just chill out. We'll work through it, and we'll build back into the trade. So we'll probably, this wave 4 here is the one that we want to build into, but we'll also build into this one here as well, and we'll probably take the money off the table again coming into this 5th wave here as well. I just want to go into this one here and revisit what we've talked about last time in this, so because it just got a little bit crazy. So from this wave 4 here, we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, and ABC for 4 here, and we're going up for wave 5 here. So I wasn't expecting such a large wave 4 here, but that's the way it cookie crumbles. So we'll see a move up to the 24 here, and we'll take profit. I'll put that out of the way over here on that 24,000 here. And technically this wave 4 here, if I take this lower wave 2 here, coming into here, it can actually pull back this far here. So it probably won't, but we want to leave the stop out of the way for you know, we don't want to get clipped out here, but we do want to use this as this wave 4 here as a bit of a buying opportunity. So we will do that. What we take off the table here, we'll buy back in over here. We'll just see where it is first in all of this. Yeah, I'll just bring that down into this space here. Normally it can come down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, but because it's sort of a really strong move here, it's likely to come to the top of wave 3 here, or in the Elliott book, the wave 2 of this little structure in here. So yeah, you work out the maths on that, but that's where we'll be sort of looking for that. Also for India here. So with India here, we're looking at wave 3 here, wave 4 here on the daily chart, and we're looking at wave 1 and 2, and all the way up for wave 3 here, and we're looking for wave 4, pulling back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level. So, excuse me, from in there to here, so 38.2. So we're in the ballpark here, we're in the zone here for this. So we know that anyway. I just need to go over things because folks miss, oops, a daisy. Now, so it's possible that we've got this low in in place here yet. The other point here too is that I can count this down now as an A and a B and a C, and it's probably done and dusted, and we can move straight up from here. But I can't confirm that, and also too, we have to be mindful that wave 4s can get rather complicated, so we still may end up with because wave 2 is simple, wave 4 can be complex. It could end up being in a triangle pattern through here. It could be a flat pattern in here where we still got to move up to here, back up to these highs here, and then back down here as well, and then move up here. And the triangle pattern would be, this would be the A wave here, the B and C and D and E here, and then up from there. So I don't know what's going to come out of the gates here, but I do know that we're quite close to the low of the pullback here, whatever happened. So it would be nice to start looking to build into this particular trade here, but it's still a bit flimsy on the evidence. I can call this down as wave A and B and C here. Normally what I like to do is I like to see, as I mentioned before, I think in this, not in this video, but in one of the earlier ones, is to see 5 waves up. So currently we've got 3 waves up here. If we see 4 and then 5, then we're going to get an A and a B and a C wave back here. So this would be the time, this would be a safer time to get it through over this space here. If you went long here, which is fine, but you are buying, then you just got to keep the stop out of the way. You got to keep it out of the way for this wave 4 pullback, and then you'd also need to keep it out of the way back for this one here as well. So I don't really know the best thing to do here in this case. If we'd caught it right here and captured the 3rd wave here, or the C wave, that's fine. This is also the 50-60%, this greyed out box here is the 50-60% retracement level from wave B to C here, because I mean it's just going to be an area where it's just going to give us some grief really. It's going to be close on the 400 there as well, but who knows, I mean we may have down for 1 and back for 2 and down for 3. I may have made a mistake somewhere else, so I need to, you know, point that to the danger zone there. I should put it in red. And I'll just go to the hourly chart, pick that up. So I can see we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I've got 1 and 2 here, and then I can see we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it looks like, if I got any little, here we go. I mean, it certainly looks like we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. And the reason I'm saying that is because this move here is acting like a 3rd wave, because if I'd called it an A and a B and a C wave here, then the C wave would, normally the A wave and the C wave have got some sort of relationship in terms of equality to them, but this is extending like a 3rd wave here. So I think that the trouble is if we went long here, then we've got to leave the stop sort of well under here. So I just don't I just the risk reward doesn't sort of add up to me just yet. I'm reasonably confident in the count, but I can't confirm it either. So I think what we'll do is we will 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll end up 1 and 2 here, 3. So we'll end up. That's going to give us wave 3 here. Sorry to diddle-daddle here, and then a wave 4 back here, then a wave 5 up here, then an A wave, a B wave. I don't think the C wave is going to pull back to the 61.8% here, so this is kind of what we're looking for through here. So we've still got a little while for this to play out here. If let's just say that you want to go long here, let's just get this into perspective here. That would be 450, say 430 in here. 434 would be a nice number for a high. And so that would leave us with, that's the 61.8% right back on the 300 here. So really we've got to leave that out of the way here. So I'm just going to leave that. If you decide to go long, that'll give you something to think about. And it may not, like I say, may just pull back to this point here, but it's sort of a Clint Eastwood thing. Are you feeling lucky, punk? Alrighty, have a good weekend. Cheers.